hate puppies. Good podcast.
I feel threatened.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to a special Sunday edition of Inside the Pallet House, which means you won't see any difference about when it comes out. But it feels different here in the moment, that is for sure. In fact, I got dressed up for the occasion.
Yeah, you did.
I didn't wear sleeves. Yeah, that was me getting dressed up for the occasion. Sometimes, a special Sunday episode, I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to lose the watch, lose the sleeves, put on some flips.
I just thought you flexed.
Anti-that.
And the sleeves blew off.
I thought you may have had a good session on the Bowflex this morning. You were like, I feel kind of pumped.
Well, as everybody can hear, our resident meathead Sealy is in the house, man. It has been far too long, man.
True.
I'm glad
Very true.
have you back in here, and I'm glad to see that you started out immediately dogging my workout equipment. That seems
Brenda's like, who in our crew works out the most? Sealy. Okay, when he shows up, I'm wearing a tank top. I'm going to let this motherfucker know who the alpha is.
Oh, he knew who the
Done.
alpha was.
Done.
He saw those sleeves, or the lack thereof. He said, my God, man, what do you do? And I said, it's actually Power Rod technology. It's been patented for quite a while. And
You probably heard
works.
about it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to brag, but I do have 310 pounds of resistance in my garage right now.
For curls.
You guys laugh.
Yeah.
I'm curling
That's true.
310.
That's absolutely
Yeah,
true.
you are.
Honestly, I am curling like 140 pounds, and I'm like, I don't think the Power Rod's here, right?
I don't think this is one for one.
something
Single arm,
add up.
single arm 140s.
like I'm over there just crushing it, and I'm like, man, I am so strong.
It's the dad strength.
It really
Yeah.
is.
People underestimate the dad strength.
I think we overestimate Power Rod strength. Is what I think is
little both.
probably a little closer to it. Yeah, I've been on a steady diet of pizza and Power Rods, and I'm starting to show the tone that I was looking for this summer.
COVID hits us all a little bit different.
Well, you don't look like you've lost any strength.
Oh, I've lost a ton of strength. Haven't lost much weight, just a ton of strength. So it's just getting, a little softer.
How often are you in the gym? And I am assuming you are in the gym because
Man.
they were probably letting you in during lockdown. Like, we can only let in one. Bring in Sealy.
Yeah. So that was the beauty of, working for a fitness company and over the last few years kind of building a gym in the basement. So that got me through sanity-wise, being able to have somewhere to work out during, the whole shutdown. And I swear I was hitting it hard. I mean, I got this workout board where I'm logging each day. But I still got softer and softer every day. So it's been...
How is that possible? Because I've seen your setup.
Look,
your gym is better than the gym I pay for, the gym in your house.
Look, yeah. I mean, it's pretty solid. I got everything I need in there. There's a little motivation factor when you're at home.
Yes. Or
and
lack thereof.
Fucking distractions, bro. You can't discount the distractions every time you go down there. I mean, I had to get to a point where I was thinking about putting a lock on that little part of the door so nobody could come in. The dogs come in, they start, playing around, and then I'm done. I go out back and we'll start throwing the ball around. So distractions
this
were a
is
little
not the
rough.
dog's fault.
Yeah, dogs, kids,
ADD.
wife,
So you see
everybody.
this dude?
Everybody but my own.
He's like, oh, the dog came in, and next thing I know, he forced me to go outside and throw a ball for 2 hours.
Hey, in Sealy's defense, I've never been in a gym where dogs come in and interrupted you. So
Touche.
You
Touche.
can't say that wouldn't be a problem.
No, you know what? That is accurate. I can't argue with that. Okay.
imagine if you were in the middle of Gold's Gym and a dog just comes.
I'll be like,
Runs
now
up
I have
on
to
you.
play with you.
1 point for Troy. 1 point for Troy.
Oh, yes.
I'll give you that. You are officially on the leaderboard. You are
I
the
didn't
main
know
guy.
about a point system.
Oh, well, thanks for listening during the the pandemic.
I'm so busy.
Yeah. I'm sure you have.
So busy.
You have
at
an
home,
outside sales job. You're not allowed to go
napping
outside.
and,
I'm sure you're
working out,
smart.
playing with the dog.
So busy not listening to podcasts.
Oh, when did you guys get a point system?
Takes up all my time. Not listening.
That's probably why I haven't been invited back. Sorry.
Oh, well, so you've been spared the stew iteration of the podcast.
Oh, yeah?
then.
Maybe there's a correlation.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know. I'm just not feeling it anymore. Well, the
hopefully
good
that can
news
prove to
is
be an upgrade for you.
the good news is the downloads are up.
There
I
you go.
had a moment this morning where I actually my daughter and I, my youngest daughter and I, did a podcast.
Really?
Friday night.
All right.
So she was
shooting for a different demographic here.
She just
Yeah.
she just like she's been talking about she wants to be a YouTube star. Like that is her.
Oh, no.
My God, don't they all?
All kids
Yeah,
want to
they
be
all
YouTube.
do.
And it's hard to argue with them because they're like, well,
You
they
make
make a
bank.
ton of money, and I'm
Yeah.
like, they do
But I cannot stand. I'm sure you're hearing it in the background all the time. Like
all the time.
I don't know if this is wrong or not, but I try to make fun of my kids as much as possible for,
Yeah.
for watching them because it's I just can't
Negative
get into
reinforcement.
It.
That's
I
how
can't-
you raise a child. Good.
right? Isn't
I'm
that-
with you,
isn't
man.
that right?
My kids turn on something stupid. I'm like, can we please watch something that doesn't make my brain melt?
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Watching other people play video games. I
That's
just
the
don't
one.
Get
Yeah.
it. I don't get it.
I watch them. I
Or
watch
open
people-
presents.
Yeah, open
You've been
new
caught
stuff.
on those too.
The video games are brutal, and that's what my daughters they aspire to be because they like to play Roblox all the time, and like Minecraft and all this stuff, and then they see these other people do it, and they're funny to them, and they're making a ton of money, so they're like, this is great. All I have to do is play video games and get a camera. They think right now the only reason they're not rich is because they don't have,
They don't
a camera.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Like that's what's holding them back.
That's all.
And I'm like, it could be that you're not funny, but
or talented or have any skills really at all.
But to be honest with you, I could say the same thing about these people that they watch. I mean, it's insane to me.
no, it's wild. But then so my youngest daughter was like, I really want to do it, and I'm like, I'm not going to not support whatever it is she wants to do. I always try to push. You and I have very different parenting styles. you make fun
Like,
of
nah,
them,
it's queer.
and I'm like, yeah, and I'm like,
I wouldn't support this, but go ahead.
well, so I didn't set them up with a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I was like, but you need to learn like the basics, and I was like, so I do a podcast. I was like, would you like to?
You don't even listen. You just laid into her.
Yeah. No, they've listened to a
You
couple.
can't
They're
listen, yeah.
they're like, Ely says a lot of bad words. And I'm like, yeah, that's Ely. That fucker swears too much.
Not old
Yeah,
dad.
don't let them listen to this episode because I got a problem with that too.
So she did say that. I was like, look, I have all the equipment. A big part of being a YouTube star is that you get them to be able to hear you.
Yes.
And that you can articulate and move a conversation forward. I was like, so would you like to go to a podcast?
That is something that all the successful YouTube stars have. They do have
They
the
can do
ability
it.
to speak and speak in front of a
Bullshit
camera.
forever.
Yeah,
for
to
hours.
Just make
Yeah.
the
And then
dumbest things.
spin it into
Continue,
something that's
continue.
interesting and
Editing
keep going.
skills.
Yeah.
Well, that's
And-
a big part of it. Yeah.
Well, this morning we edited her podcast.
Oh,
I actually
nice.
sat down, I pulled up her stuff, my stuff, all the soundboard stuff, showed her how it works, and I was like, "You see here? Like, look, I can't hear you here. I can tell just looking at it. So let's amplify you." She's like, "No way."
That's
so, like,
awesome.
We built a whole episode, she and I. So that was actually a lot of fun. What I realized though, she can do it.
Really?
Like she'd
Hold
be
her own?
Yeah, she'd be sitting over here and like I'd make a bad joke and she'd be like, "Psh, hit the wah wah." like if she could have reached the
She's a
board.
natural.
Yeah, she was all over it. And then
Outproducing her dad already.
then like she looked over and saw these flaming hot Funyuns and she's like, "Flaming hot Funyuns. I smell a challenge."
Oh, wow.
I'm like, "Yeah, you
All
do
right,
have it.
all right.
Let's do it. Like,
Yeah.
will you eat those?" She's like, "No," and I was like, "Well, you're on the podcast." She's like, "Okay, let's
Guess
do
I
it.
have to.
Let's
Well,
do the
Hey,
challenge."
Here's your retirement plan.
That's right.
Get it started before she controls her own money.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Well, as your manager, I'm only going to take 70%, and that's because I love you.
Yeah.
Could you imagine what you could do with 30% of your earnings?
Your dad. If I was playing the role of your dad, I'd have all your money. But since I'm just your manager, I'll let you have 30% of it. You're welcome.
There's no nepotism here. Yeah. So, but she did a great job. Like, honestly, we had a lot of fun. We did 40
I want to
minutes.
hear it.
And I was in no shape because, Celie, you and I went to Drive
that was
Shack
after
earlier
golf.
that
Oh.
day.
Oh, this was
Lord.
Friday night after your guys' date afternoon.
Celie and I went on a date.
Yeah,
and it was
I was
like,
in a little rough shape after that too.
it was like my first time out. And so, like, the girl comes over. She's like, "What do you guys want?" We were both like, "Are you drinking today?" I wasn't. Okay, I'll have one. and then we're like, "All right, let's get a Coors Light." And she's like, "A bucket will save you $7." And I was like, "Well, I'm not one
Twist
to.
my
I'm all about
arm.
saving
Yeah,
money.
I'm gonna save some money."
Yeah.
So, next thing you know, we got a bucket, and
And
then
two.
every time it like pops up,
Well,
we're
I
like,
sweat out a bucket of sweat, so we had to replenish that with
yeah, it was like
additional
Gatorade.
beers.
Yeah.
So we had a long day. I was actually really sore. Celia, you probably didn't go through that experience. But I had soreness all over my body from swinging.
Well, when
the
you
golf
go
club.
to a place like that with just 2 people, you end up hitting like a ton
we had
more
a
balls
bunch
than
of
if you got
swings.
like a crew.
It was a good time, man.
Yeah,
for
we
sure.
played 18. Then we played like a couple
games.
other games, and like we just kept going. And then afterwards,
I like Drive Shack.
Oh, I
we're
can
like,
fuck with that place.
we're like, man,
every
maybe
day.
we should go by Kindred Spirits and just have a couple beers.
Yeah, well,
Sat outside, had a couple beers.
I mean, we set our own kind of curfew. We're like, look, as long as we're home by 5, we should be all right. And
which
so,
I think
you know,
makes sense. You know,
100%.
5 hours
Yeah.
partying, and then my wife got home. Like I guess she had gone somewhere really quickly. Right as I got home, so it was perfect. I got to like come in and like kind of like whew, get it together. And
Gather himself.
And then I was like, okay, I've got it together.
where
I'm
were
gonna-
your kids?
with my wife?
Oh,
she
okay.
she was able to work from
Oh,
home
okay.
that day. So
Nice.
Celia and I set up this mandate.
Yeah, I remember you reaching out earlier in the week, like looking for something to do. Like
Yeah.
you had an open Friday, which is kind of rare.
Yeah, Carrie texted me right after I dropped you off. I was like, be home in 5.
Yeah,
I
and
was
you looked like a hero.
solid
Yes.
as could be. Yeah, 100%.
My wife came home. We had a conversation for about 30 seconds before she said, "Are you all right?" And I was like,
Why do you ask?
because in my head it was all
Yeah.
in my eyes. So she was like, "Yeah, you all right?" And I was like, "I guess I could probably eat something."
Yeah.
Got
All
some
of our
food.
wives, we've all been married long enough now. Like our wives just see clean through,
Through
everything.
absolutely,
Like
no
there's
doubt.
no.
Yeah, she was like, "Your eye looks a little droopy." I was like, "I've been outside in the allergies all day. It was
I hit a door. I was
Long
like,
day.
I was folding laundry so quickly, and I turned around, and I must have hit the door or something.
I saw a kitten in the road, and I jumped out so fast, and I got clipped. But I did save the kitten. But yeah, so I decided, I'll just have a few more beers. But that continued, right? And then my wife goes to bed, and my daughter's still sitting up, and she's like, "What are you doing?" And then she's telling me about her dreams, and I'm being supportive. And I was like, "Let's do a podcast." This is like 2 very different ends of the spectrum. One guy who's literally having a beer and has been having a beer forever, and then one person who hasn't even ever tasted a beer, like completely on point. But she held her own, man. She did a really good job. So the episode exists. I'm just not posting it. Like she was upset at me this morning. She was like,
side post.
she was like, post it. I was like, look,
This one's
I put it on
okay
the
for
server.
kids.
Here's the
Yeah.
link. Send your link to your friends or whatever, but I don't want you online necessarily.
Well,
especially because she was more talented than me. I mean, the last thing I need is everyone
There was
like,
there was
less
an underlying
Brendan, more
cause.
kid.
Well, and we don't want. I mean, to be fair, a lot of our listeners don't want to hear your daughter talk for 40 minutes.
No. If you desperately want to hear it, reach out, and then I'll know. I'll put you down, creep. Don't interact with that creep
We'll
anymore.
notify the authorities, and you'll
so-
have a nice day.
Reach out. Let me know. I would love to know exactly which people are interested. But that was fun. It was fun. Definitely good. And
Yeah, I'd like to hear it because I'd like my boys to hear it. I'm sure they get a kick out of it.
I don't know why we don't just do occasional of those with the kids.
A kid cast?
Just for us.
Yeah.
Like, not for...
That'd be fun.
Look, I'll tell you, the girls would have a blast with it. They have started making their own little movies, again, inspired by fucking YouTubers. I gave them like an old phone, and so now they're making videos, and they're doing like 5-minute cuts each time, but do basically a whole plot storyline. And
Little shorts.
that
basically.
night, after I got home and was tired and exhausted and drunk, they made us sit down and watch these. I was like, oh, fuck. So the wife made some popcorn because it was that long. And 5-minute, 3 to 5 minute clips.
Here's some
probably about
scissor if
10
you're
of
gonna
them.
need it.
Oh,
Yeah.
my God, yeah. But you had to be supportive.
Y'all look like y'all were having fun on Friday.
No, we
Shame I
did.
missed
It was
it.
a good time aside from
The heat.
Jesus, man, I can't tell you. Luckily, I wore black.
Smart.
But it didn't matter because the entire thing was just sopped. It was disgusting.
It was still good
Still
to
a good time.
get out and do anything.
Oh, we were there. Let's just say we were there for an hour and a half. About an hour and 15 comes by. The chick comes by, our waitress, hits this fan button, and it's like this beautiful breeze at this point. We're like, that was there the whole time.
The best
Yeah.
part about that, though, is she saved it until she saw that we were she saw
Debating
us
leaving or not.
wavering.
Yeah.
Because she was like, "Oh, are you guys going to extend your time? Are you guys going to get any more beers?" And I look at Celia, I was like, "Should we stick around?" He's kind of like, "Eh." And then
like,
she
I'm
goes,
fucking sweating.
she goes, flip. and the breeze hits us both, and we're like, yeah, another round, and we'll do another hour here.
Yeah.
So she
We're not going
timed
anywhere.
that. That was a really smart move on her part.
Good training.
No doubt. If they look like they're going to leave, turn on
Yeah.
the weather control. Brilliant.
Yeah, I said
Makes
next
them
time I'm
comfortable.
bringing either a beach towel because I had to use. We brought our own clubs, so we were
Yeah.
that group.
Yeah.
And all I had was my old dirty club towel, which I was using to wipe the shit out of my face, my head, everything. I was a hot mess.
That was funny. Seeley's like, yeah, man, I'm going to bring my own clubs. And he's like, I mean, why wouldn't I want to practice with my own clubs? And I'm thinking, why would I want to touch the dirty-ass clubs there? I was like, fair enough. Whatever your reason. I just agreed with his reason. But in my mind, it was like, this is Corona safe.
That's true.
It's a win-win. And then when we got there and saw, like, when you have more than one person, they give you a little set of clubs. It's like I don't know how to explain it. It's you can hold it in one hand.
Like it looks
this
like
tiny little bag.
Oh,
It's
wow.
like Bagger Vance.
Because they usually have all
basically.
they usually have all the clubs up there, but they had taken them down for the Corona. I got you.
You know what? Did they? I
No,
didn't
there were
even
still
notice.
some up
Yeah, they
there,
were
but
still
then
up
it's
there.
like
You don't
If
want
you
to
got more
touch
than
those.
one person.
You can
if you want
request.
to be able to use
Oh, I
a
see
different
what
set
you're
of clubs.
saying.
you could request, and then they give you a bag that
This
Bagger Vance
junior
would go,
set.
what's with the little bag?
Yeah.
Insane.
But it was cool. I like that place. Man.
Yeah, I like
I
it
love
better
it.
than Top Golf.
I still haven't even been to Top Golf. Like, I go to it, like, I've seen it, and I'm like, yeah, I'm more of a Drive Shack guy. I love how I formulate opinions without all the information.
Yeah, that's kind of your thing.
I do that all the time, though, with different things. Like, all of a sudden now I'm all in on one. I've never even been to the other. They could hand you gold nuggets when you walk in, and I wouldn't know. And I'm like, psh, the place is
You
beat,
do that
bro.
with almost everything.
I mean, as long as you can
Not
yell
almost
Shack
everything,
Jack.
but a
Yeah,
lot of
you
things.
get a
I
brand,
kinda
and that's your thing.
I do. And then I will just vehemently oppose whatever
Hey,
other brand.
That's loyalty.
That's
That's
just how I
loyalty.
roll.
I would say probably more people are like that than
It's
not.
worked for my marriage. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, nope to the billion other women.
Yeah.
I don't want any part of you. I will stick with this one because she said she liked me once.
She's
Our
seen the
entire
worst of you, it's still
relationship
there.
like hinges on one night where she showed me her CD collection, and I was like, "Best CD collection ever." All other women can go screw. Like that was it. Like
That's a strong bond.
They could have been anybody's CD collection. I would have loved that
That's
person.
going to be a tale your daughters are going to love to hear as they get older.
Yeah, exactly.
Dad, tell me about how you and Mom fell in love.
Yeah.
Oh, she had,
Well,
she had all the Bob Marley, all the Ben Harper. I was sold. I saw Counting Crows in there. I was like, Psh, this chick's a keeper. It really was. It set the tone for me. I'm an easy man. Easy man.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll
I
never
mean-
hear our first meet story. Come
Well,
up with
they're
that
gonna-
one. Come up with
What,
it. I mean,
Dad?
it was in Radford
Dad.
at like a frat party, so that's not gonna.
Dad, what the fuck's a CD?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That question would not surprise me.
UCLA just took this home. Pretty excited.
Oh, so you
Yeah.
decided to vote for them or root for them?
I guess so.
We're watching women's college volleyball on TV here.
Beach volleyball.
Beach volleyball.
College
Get
volleyball
it
is
right.
next. I got this all buttoned up, man. The screens
Yeah.
are showing everything I want to see.
Well, shit. When you got limited sports to watch,
Like to get a look at her CD collection. My God.
So if you remember last week, I yelled at the listeners for having not given us any reviews since February 25th.
You still angry?
A little bit. I on the drive over here, I said, "Oh yeah, let me check. Let me see if anybody took my advice."
Did you get one?
We did. We got one. We got
Okay.
a 5-star review,
bang.
and
That's
as
the kind we're
promised,
looking
I
for.
shall read it out and give the shout out to the person or persons.
Do
Hopefully, persons.
I know the person?
Do you know Beerman 313?
No.
Okay.
What zip code or area code is that?
313.
Not one I'm familiar with.
Sounds like, didn't Eminem rap about 313?
No, that's 818.
No, and for the record, if you're from Detroit, stop listening.
Or 213 was that? What was he? Anyway.
Oh, God, it is Detroit. Never mind. You're cool, dude. My bad. My bad.
Stick with it.
I'll take it back.
Beerman 313. The subject says "funny guys!" exclamation point, and the body says "hilarious." So thank you, Beerman.
That's the review.
That's all you need to hear.
It's like
That's
a
it.
fucking thesaurus. He's like, oh, I don't know how else to say exactly what I
He
said.
gave us a 5-star review. Thank you.
Can't
The
complain
end.
about that. Keep it simple.
Yeah.
No, I'm not mad at him.
No.
I'm not mad at him. Look.
I fucking hope not.
That's what you wanted, right?
Yeah.
That's what you wanted.
Yep.
A little love from Detroit. I'll take it.
I guess he's like, well, if I try to be funny, I might trip all over myself. So let me just keep it short and sweet.
Leave the funny to us, 313.
That's right.
Give that guy some funny times and some hard times.
That's right.
I like him. It's good enough. So I got something from a listener this week. The Abacus sent something in, and I'm very conflicted on this one. I think we all agree that non-alcoholic beers are pretty worthless.
Yes.
But the main reason that I'm anti-non-alcoholic beer is that why would I want all the calories and carbs and not get a buzz?
Yeah.
Like, it's all the negative and none of the positive.
Yeah.
Well, Suntory, the distillery out of Japan, and they make some fantastic whiskeys. Japanese whiskeys are actually some of the best right now. They make the Yamazaki, which I actually have in here if you guys want.
Yeah.
We're going to have to taste that.
Of course, I knew Celia would take me up on it. I don't mind if I do.
We're going to have to taste that.
So,
Flores gave you that, right?
yep, exactly
I
right.
remember that.
Yeah, dude, Flores would come in from overseas when he was living over there, and he would always pick one up in customs or the duty, whatever.
Yeah, duty free.
Yeah, man, he'd hook it up. That was the best. And that stuff just goes up in value because it's so hard to get right now. It's a long story. But, yeah, so he sent something in, and apparently Suntory is making a new non-alcoholic beer. Yeah, Troy, I'm fully aware. So
Yeah. Oh, a non-alcoholic beer, you said.
I was just looking at a CD case. And so Suntory's come out with this non-alcoholic beer that has 0 calories. So it's actually has the flavor of beer, but it doesn't. It's just like water. It doesn't have any of that stuff. So for the first time, I'm like, if this doesn't suck, maybe I could get behind it because I drink seltzers, like not hard
Gross.
seltzers, like water, just
Yeah.
sparkling.
Why?
Sparkling. Because I feel like if I have a can in my hand, like if I'm drinking,
Right.
and then I don't want to have a beer, I just grab the can and I feel like I'm holding a can, and then I just drink it. And
So you're an alcoholic.
oh,
Yeah.
we've been doing this
We're
show for
covering.
5 years. I think I've covered that. You're not breaking any new ground here. But
Spoiler alert. Gosh.
can we throw functioning in front
I
of that?
got. Yeah, that's my grandma. I have conflicted.
Can we go
views
back to
on
that?
simply because I got a buddy who was a full-blown alcoholic, and in order to hang out, I guess he feels like the non-alcoholic beers allows him to hang out like he's still hanging out. But, without giving him or without the alcohol, that's given him so many problems. So I don't get it because I don't see myself enjoying the taste of beer enough to not reap the benefits of an actual beer. Not like I got to drink beers to get hammered, although
You're
that's
an
normally
alcoholic.
the case. Yeah, I'm a binge alcoholic. I'm a different type.
How is that different? You can't just like.
it's just different type. I do it when I
Is
drink.
it?
I drink like a job. Like I want to feel the effects.
I don't understand
Quick
the
and hard.
guys that are alcoholics that literally can't drink anymore, who are like your buddy who's like, well, I got to continue to, I need the fake beer to hang out. Because, like, whether or not you're an alcoholic, if you and I are hanging out, Steely, and you don't want to drink, I'm not going to.
Don't drink.
Oh, I don't. There's no forcing there. At
Well,
all.
I know you're not, but what I'm saying is I don't care. Brent and I drink together all the time. If one night he says he's not drinking, I'm just going to be like, all right, I'm still over here having my beer. Like,
Yeah.
we're not children. I mean, I don't understand.
Yeah, because
kinda weird.
children
It
are
could just
always
be a
forcing
mindset.
beers on each other.
Yeah, that is something kids do. Like, that's your teenage years. Like, come on, man. Be
Yeah,
cool.
you're not going to
Yeah.
go down that hill on the sled. Like
yeah,
it's always
exactly.
something.
Yeah.
Well, it could be a mindset for that particular individual, right?
Yeah.
He feels like that is enough to get him over the hump of wanting to drink, I guess. I don't.
Well, our buddy Taylor Carson, he does that. Like
Yeah.
he drinks non-alcoholic beers around people because it allows him to feel that
Like he's
part of
part
his
of the
brain
party, yeah.
normal, but not have to drink.
Well,
Which
so
he's
asking
got
that
a
makes
new
sense.
he's got a new album out. If you go look up Atlantic Runaway, my goodness, it's all that stuff that we were talking about that they were doing for like
Yeah,
movies
yeah.
and everything. It's pretty cool. Definitely check it out.
Check that
Yeah,
out.
I mean, do you enjoy the taste of beer enough to not or to drink it without
No,
the desired effect?
no, but I'd like to try this because it has 0 calories, 0 everything. Like if it does taste like a regular beer, then I would drink it because it's 0
Well, so
calories.
then you're falling into what Troy was saying. Like, why?
I'm just
when there's so many other drinks that you probably enjoy the taste that could also be 0 calorie.
I just see. I haven't tried it, and I always like
can't.
to.
Don't knock it until you try it.
Well,
Isn't
kind of a
Budweiser
hypocrite
making?
from what you just said.
Yeah, I understand the hypocrisy. That's why I said that.
Isn't Budweiser making a new? Did I see a commercial for a new Zero Budweiser?
Yeah, no, I'm not going to go out of my way to drink something that tastes like Budweiser. I'm assuming Suntory.
But you love Budweiser. That's your beer. You're a Beechwood Age.
I shouldn't have to say this again, but there is no finer way
He's a course pool.
to age a beer than Beechwood aging. It's actually the most expensive process and the best.
Yeah.
Those don't always go hand in hand, but it does
facts.
in this instance.
Take your word for it.
Yeah, you're not going to the pool later, Troy. That's starting to.
It's going to blow over.
I hope so. I hope so for your sake. So you got to work on that sweet tan.
Are you saying I don't have a tan?
I'm saying it's better than Sealy's. This dude showed up here. He's looking.
Oh, dude,
he just got
freaking
burnt.
lobster. Yeah, we did the pool today. Usually, I've been pretty good all year about sunscreen. Not today.
It was not well done. You know what? No would make that feel better.
I'm burnt. So.
A nice non-alcoholic, no-calorie beer.
Yeah, pour it on it maybe. So
I'm good
Troy,
with that.
I'm a little jealous. What lake have you been going to? And I see all these amazing pictures of.
Got a place last August down at Lake Gaston.
Okay.
It's about an hour and a half away. Got a little piece of land right on the water. Got a little dock there. Got to get a boat.
So you
That's
take the
next.
camper?
No, it has a camper set up there.
Oh, really?
40-foot camper set up with a big deck built all the way around it.
Oh my.
Oh, he's living that lake
pretty
life
sweet.
dream.
That's mine, man. I mean, I prefer. I'm a freshwater fan as
Yeah.
opposed to the beach. I don't know. Sand and salty water is not my thing.
Well, and your boats don't like it. Your house doesn't like
Yeah.
it. Your cars don't like it. Your bikes don't like it.
Hurricanes are a problem.
Like, yeah, it's a whole thing, man.
Yeah, I mean, I love sitting oceanfront looking out at the big blue water. That doesn't get any
if
better
there's
than
a
that.
pool in the sand,
Yeah.
that's 100%. That's
Yeah, I'm
my
with
favorite.
you. But yeah, Lake Life's where it's at. I can't complain.
We were just in New Hampshire and did some boating on Keezer Lake, where
Geezer
old
Lake.
Steven,
That sounds right for you.
Where Stephen King lives.
Oh, cool.
Really cool space, man. It's.
Would you feel comfortable living in a place that Stephen King lives? Like if the woods,
You know what's
inspire
crazy?
that kind of nonsense in your head.
You recognize a lot. So we went up to New Hampshire for a week, which we've done. My wife's family's from up there, so we go up there quite often. But you see so many movies that he's created is from, and he pulls in New Hampshire, Maine, that area.
Mm-hmm.
Really cool, kind of seeing those in person and just kind of seeing the familiarity. Such a beautiful place, man.
You see a gray cat walk in front of you, you just shit your pants.
Dude,
You know what's hilarious is the last time. So my wife's brother obviously grew up there, spent some time. The last time they
Obviously.
went up there without us, they went to a little country store. Who was sitting there on the front porch just swinging? Stephen King.
Oh, wow.
They had their dog with him. Dude pulled out like a dog treat out of his pocket, feeding the dog.
that dude
Pretty cool,
apparently was a ludicrous cokehead. Like ludicrous.
Is that how he made
look at
all
the
those?
shit that he makes?
He would
Yeah,
he
would
would
that
sit
surprise
there.
you?
He would sit there, hold up, and just do blow and look at those woods and write the creepiest ass stories in the world, trying to make those deadlines because he'd gotten these big contracts. Like he wasn't that way always, but
So
when
he couldn't sleep.
he got all these
Yeah.
deadlines, and he'd be like, "I could use a little motivation, maybe a little more, maybe a lot more," and then, like just fill up. But that helped fuel his psychosis, and it like.
Are all of his? Well, I know he doesn't like some of the movies that have been made, but are all of his stories really good? Like, I haven't read and or watched all the movies, but like, are some of them like not very popular?
Oh, he's brilliant. Like, look, he wrote
mean,
Shawshank. He wrote The Green Mile. Like, people don't really.
100% well
he's
known.
he did those.
yeah, like he's brilliant. Once he gets out of his coke fueled, like, there's a monster in the woods.
Yeah, but he also did like some of the stuff that's kind of crazy. Like, what was it? Is it Carrie, the one about the car?
Yeah, but
like,
still,
No,
it's like
that's
somebody.
super famous.
That's Christine.
Christine, yeah,
Carrie's the chick who like went to the prom and doused
that's
her
right.
in
Yeah,
blood.
Christine. But sometimes
nuts
I'm
up.
like, does somebody just challenge him to like, bitch, you can't make a scary story about a car? Hold my beer.
Well, let's just say he's pretty successful. So
Oh,
I
he's
think,
definitely successful, but like, I haven't. I'm just saying that he's written and done so much. I definitely haven't seen it all, so I don't know. Like,
Nah,
If it's
he's
written or somehow he was involved, I'm going to give it a shot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's the kind of reputation he has.
Oh, have you seen his CD case? Like, I'm committed to the guy forever. I'm committed to him for life. It's funny because my wife just walked in the room and she probably gets that joke but doesn't realize it's about us.
Yeah.
But woman's got a bitch in CD case. So she actually came out here because she's so excited that she wants to try the deli with us tonight.
Oh,
now,
really?
She refuses to go on the air.
Okay.
Because she thinks that all of these wonderful people who listen are crazy for listening to this, so she doesn't want to be part of it. But
Majority.
She's a diehard.
She does like
listener.
a beer.
Does she like this beer?
No, so I haven't tried this. So we've been trying to get our hands on the Busch Light Apple for weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Weeks. And it just showed up. Like our buddy
Is
Matt.
this a COVID
Troy, our buddy
situation
Matt.
why you haven't
Actually,
been able to get your hands on it?
Troy, there's some over here in the cooler. Those are probably even colder.
Is it a COVID situation why you couldn't get your hands on it? Just
Honestly,
limited?
dude, this stuff came out and it flew
Sold
off
out.
the shelves.
All right.
Flew off the shelves. And I've been going around for weeks looking for it. And one day I found it. And I was like, I won't buy it on Thursday because then I won't get an honest reaction on the air because I'll drink it before Monday. So I went back on Sunday.
Couldn't trust himself, I guess.
And it was gone. And I was like, come on, man. So, unfortunately, I haven't been able to get my hands on it. Now, our buddy Matt came over. So, shout out, Matt. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for your help on this. He came over and he dropped off, or he had 3 in his bag, right? So, I should only have 3. Troy, you will notice that there's 4 in front of you.
Yeah, and then there's a couple down this.
Yeah. Now, he brought 3. Then he brought the rest.
What do you buy, 12
Oh, he
pack?
didn't like him.
It was not a positive.
Not a good sign. Not a good sign.
I talked to his wife last night, and she was like, that's fucking disgusting.
She tried it and didn't like it.
And then he said, yeah, man, I don't want to tell you my opinion. He's like, but I'm going to stop by and drop off the rest. I was like, I'm a smart enough man to understand that where your opinion stands.
Your
on this.
silence is deafening.
So this is the Busch Light Apple. I mean, this is the first deli I think my wife's ever walked out for.
Yes.
So she's
big deal. It's a big
She's
deal right
excited as well.
Before I get into this, I
It
do want to
smells
say
apple-y.
this sounds disgusting. A Busch Light, which is not a good beer with apple flavoring, sounds really gross. Am I wrong for thinking that?
I
don't
couldn't
know.
be more excited about this beer. No, I think you're totally wrong. I've been psyched about this beer ever since it came out. I love an apple cider. I don't mind Busch Light. It's made by
Fake apple
Anheuser-Busch.
is gross, though. Apple cider is delicious.
Well, let's. I'm going to give it a taste, and I'm going to find out what's up. And this has been a month in the making.
I'm going to consider it a.
Why don't you just hold that for a second?
I would consider it like a summer brew, kind of like you see this.
Is this what a Zima with a Jolly Rancher in it tastes like?
About, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, the nodding of the heads around. Even my wife
Yeah.
nodded her head because I know she was a big Zima with a Jolly Rancher gal in her day.
I'll fuck with it.
So
I'll
this
fuck with
is.
it.
I'll fuck with it. It's
I've
pretty
never-
good.
I've never
It's
put
probably
one
one
in
of those
there.
ones where you can only drink a certain amount before it's just too sweet.
It's sicky
But,
sweet off the jump, I think.
Do you want to go ahead and start this then, Sealy? Because you're over here just dropping your opinion.
Yeah, Sealy goes, then I'll go, and then you can get your wife's input. Therefore, you can speak for her.
I'm trying to figure out.
Do you see the look on her face? That's the look that when I came home from golf with Sealy on Friday.
Oh.
That's the same look. So my understanding
Hold on.
is
That should have been an accepting, like, hey, you're very responsible today. Look.
I think that look on her face says, I think you've had too many Busch Light. Maybe you should slow your roll. She said, that Busch Light looks like it needs a sandwich. Quick.
So in trying to figure out like where
To talk
I
into
put
a mic?
this, where I put this, I try to ask myself like, what's my 5, right? What's my number 5? Because I'm a very simple brew rater, I suppose. I would have to give it that 3.5 range. I mean, it's good.
So
I'll
you
drink
like it.
Yeah.
You like
To
it.
me, that's I would drink it, and again, I don't know how many I could drink at a sitting, but I could try to take down a 6-pack.
So that 3.5's a good
Before I move on
score.
to the, before I move on to the Guinness.
That's your job, right? We've covered this.
So 3.5's high. So you put this higher than like other light beers? I mean, I don't want to speak
Again,
for
that's
you.
the thing. It's
I don't
like
wanna,
I try to find out what's my 5. I don't know yet. I haven't. Maybe I haven't had that 5. My normal go-to is Coors, so I'm very simple.
I am
Coors
really
Light.
torn on this beer. Troy, what do you? We got a 3.5 out of Sealy.
My IPAs are like 1s, maybe lower.
Oh,
'cause
it's-
I'm just not,
it's-
I don't
yeah.
like that bitter taste.
It's trending towards a deli.
But I like I'm gonna give it like the. I'll give it a 3.
Oh, you're down to a 3.
I think 3's fair.
3.
3.5. 3.5 is upper. End.
It was. It's dangerously close to a
I
deli.
like it.
I do not
Pretty good.
like this.
Oh, you don't?
No, not at all. This tastes artificial
I'll
as
take
shit to me. It tastes like sour apple. Like it's not.
It does.
It's not a good
It is a
apple
sour
flavor.
apple.
Yeah,
It
it's
is a
like
sour
it's just. And if it said sour apple on it, I might actually be more down to fuck with it because it's like
You get what you paid for.
Yeah, I
You
know what-
I'm saying?
I know
Like,
what
you
I'm
know what
getting
you're
here.
going for.
I could have one of these. It's not like spit out bad. Like
Yeah.
it's not offensive, but it's just. It's
Like,
just,
will you finish the beer?
I'll
that
finish
you're
it.
given?
This is like a natural. This is like a Busch Light that you took a sour apple Jolly Rancher and just
Tossing it.
and threw it in there. To me, that's what it tastes like.
It's precisely. I
Yeah.
mean, that's why right away I was like, this has to be what those taste like.
And it should say sour apple on it.
It should.
It's tart.
So
So
what are you giving it?
I can't. If I go down the middle 2.5, that's a little high. I would say it's less than that. So I give it a 2.
Wow, you canned it.
I mean, 2.5 is right down the middle. I think it's less than average.
Yeah. So I mean, you're giving it a negative review. Okay, so there we go. 2. A 2 out of Troy. I did just look over at my wife and I got her score, so we can go ahead and chalk it up. She gave a funny look, which looks are worth 1,000 words with her, and she was like, she said maybe a 3, but I'm not going to be able to finish this. Which is
I don't know if I
that's
can
not
go
a 3.
then.
Oh,
Yeah.
she just. Oh my god!
There's a new look. And
she's got a look
that's
on her
like
face,
a 2
like
to
the
1.5
dog just
look.
hopped up and licked her in the mouth. And she's like,
Yeah.
oh my god! So she's giving it a 2.5. She's putting it straight down the middle, but not finishable. So we've got a 2, a 2.5, and a 3.
Yeah.
Whew, I just can't tell how high of a 4 I should give this.
Well,
Honestly, there's no beer in there. Not a bit.
yeah,
So-
that's true. I didn't even talk about that. Like, if you didn't know this was a beer, you wouldn't taste the beer
Very
in
true.
it.
You could think it is
It's not a
some
beer.
One of those,
It's
Malt liquor, maybe.
a malt
It tastes a
beverage.
lot like an apple juice that isn't 100% apple
Spiked.
juice.
Sour or
Little
like gone
spikes.
bad.
But you know what I mean? Like if you
Spiked
get
sour apple.
if you get like if they're all out of Mott's and you have to buy pots,
Yeah.
like this is a Potts apple juice, whatever that is. It's
adults.
it's like 10% real fruit juice.
it says light lager with natural flavors.
she just
She
dumps
poured it
hers
out.
Yeah, that's not a good sign. These are really hard to get your
I wonder
hands
what it
on.
looks like. I wonder
So-
what color it is.
But what is occurring now that I'm like 3/4 of the way through it? It's leaving
It's setting in.
It's leaving a funky aftertaste
Funky?
that I didn't expect. Again, 0 beer. I couldn't identify this a beer if you
that's fun.
if you
I just poured it in.
asked me.
Poured it in to see what it looked like. See if it had like a green
Gotcha.
tint or something. to
So it's got no beer flavor.
it. No beer.
It's creating a funky aftertaste in my mouth. It's definitely more fake apple flavor than real apple flavor.
Sicky sweet.
Definitely sweet. So
Now, keep in mind, like, Busch Light is a more economic beer, right? So they're
Absolutely.
not
You're
dumping
starting with-
they're not dumping a ton of money into, some craft.
You're starting with a bad
Action
base.
here.
Like the starting off point is low.
Right. And so they're like, fuck it, just like
If you like-
like some lime juice, but it's sour apple.
I got all these extra Jolly Ranchers that have gone bad. What should we do with them?
I've got it.
Excelsior.
Call Bush.
Send them over to the Bush Lab, see what they can do with it. Now, if you don't like beer, this is a perfect. If you like Jolly Ranchers, Apple
Yeah.
Jolly Ranchers, and you don't like beer,
This is your jam.
enjoy this because it literally tastes like a Jolly Rancher and not like a beer at all. I can't get behind this thing though. Like I will never seek this out. And I'm a cider
No.
guy. Like I love at the end of a night, I either like to have a Guinness or a cider, like to finish as my last drink. Those are always kind of my two go-tos. And this is not a cider. This is fake. But it's not horrible.
Yeah, you're not going to spit it out. Look, at the end of the day, if someone has one of these and that's all they have, you're going to drink one.
This is what I'm finding at the back of my fridge after I'm all out of Coors Light, and I'm like, I want to keep drinking.
Yeah,
I got this.
Now that you say that, though, you're right. Like just about any beer, I would pick over it.
Oh yeah.
So that's unfortunate, but I like the novelty of it. I'm gonna give it a 3, but I'm really
generous.
That's very generous.
I'm in between a 2.5.
The way
and
you've
3.
described it.
Yeah, you didn't like anything about it.
I fucking hate it. 3.
That's a stew. You stewed it.
Okay, I'm gonna change my score. Don't you ever accuse me stewing it. Okay, I'm gonna give it a 2.5. So this officially got 2.5.
No, 3.
3. We got a 3. We got a
2.
A 2.5, and my wife was a 2.5. I guess we can't get behind this.
No.
The aftertaste on the back of my tongue is really starting to offend. So I'm glad you guys called me out.
This is definitely for someone. It's just not for us.
Yeah, no. Look, honestly, after mowing the lawn, I probably would put one of these down, and that's why I didn't want to tank it
because it can still be. It feels like it could still be like a refreshing.
Yeah, there's value to
some
this.
refreshment behind it.
It's just not something that I'd want to buy. But if I was like, if somebody had a 6-pack of it, and I had just
so that's funny. Like you said, after a hard day's yard work or whatever it is, would you rather have this to slug, or would you rather have an IPA?
I'd rather have this.
Yeah, 100%. Because IPAs are just not a fucking slugging beer for me. Like,
no.
First of all, I just don't. I'm not a fan of them.
But I love an
Again,
IPA. There's a time
IPA.
and a place, though. And this, if I was dying, though, I mean, if I was sweaty hot, but it's the same thing.
Oh,
with
this is one you could just slug.
But it's the same thing with the Bud Light Lime. It's the same thing with the Sierra Nevada Ultra Base. There's a lot of these.
Cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of these.
Brew.
There's a lot of these beers, and this one doesn't rise to the top, even of that category of crap.
Right. Yeah, that's the category that I put it in, though.
Yeah, it belongs in that category. And
I'd rather have a Coors Light than this after mowing the lawn.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, it's my go-to, so I'd rather have that as well. But
yeah, if you handed me a lukewarm Scotch
something
or
out
this,
of the same category, I guess it's not really in the same category because it's flavored, but
yeah, this is okay, but it's right down the middle. I'm
gonna finish it, and I might have another since you guys hate it so much.
I was gonna say I think the ladies will like it, but your wife likes wine and stuff, and she did not like this at all.
But she likes hard seltzers. She likes all that stuff. So like, we brought in a female perspective. She did not like it, and I was glad when because she's been hearing me hype it up, so she wanted to try it. So
where'd the hype come from?
I don't know.
He's
been excited to try this. Yeah,
dude. As soon as they came out with it, I was like, "This is amazing." And then I watched this one jagoff on Facebook. He's like, "Oh, you betcha." It's like his little tag, and like
Canadian,
and he got it. Well, he's like a Midwest guy, so like I kind of like his whole attitude on things. I watch a lot of these like Midwest nerds, and he got like Bush sent him one because he's always drinking Bush Light. So they sent him one in like like an iPhone case. Like this thing had he opened it up. He's like, "Ooh, look at this!" And he was all excited, and he's like, I didn't think I was going to like this. This was great. And now I'm like, you got paid, you son of a bitch.
Are you kidding me? Underneath that case was a couple
if Bush
$100
sent us
bills.
a bunch of swag and a couple of these, he'd be like, you should give this a try.
Doubt.
There is no doubt in my mind I'm $100 away from saying this may be the finest beer I've ever had.
Yeah.
I am a whore.
Yeah.
I will take that. I will take your $100 and I will tell you I love your beer.
Exactly.
Love it. But they didn't send me $100. I had to go to like multiple places in the middle of a fucking pandemic.
Yeah.
So like I feel like I've risked my life for this beer, so the disappointment is real.
Yeah.
I'm very disappointed in this beer.
Build your game up here.
I'm disappointed. God. I
Let
don't
me
know
ask you
why.
this. Have you guys done like Trulies or any of these seltzers on here?
Damn it, man.
Sorry, dude. Sorry. Sorry.
Yeah, we've done.
I need to know what
We've done the
thoughts
hard
were
seltzer
behind it.
challenge.
So what was the consensus on that? If you don't mind me asking, I fucking hate them. I just don't like seltzers. Period.
You don't like any of them?
There's no fucking taste to it.
Oh, then you're not going to like our winner.
Yeah.
We ended up saying the Corona seltzers were the top dogs, and then White Claw right there with it.
there's just zero taste to them. I mean, it's such a bitter, like dry, like opposite of refreshment to me.
Try the Wild Basin by Oscar Blues. Just based on your complaints, they have different flavors. They do have some level of flavor to them.
A little bit of sweetness?
Yeah. Try actually,
a little bit of
the one
sweetness.
that has a lot of sweetness is the Trulies.
Okay.
And Truly now has an entire line that's mixed with lemonades. So they're still light seltzers, but they've created these flavors that are like tropical lemonade mixes.
You know what
and
Sealy
those
would
are
like?
very
I'll have to
sweet.
pour it in a cup so nobody knows what I'm drinking. But
You know what
sounds
Sealy would like?
pretty good.
Those the mixers drinks we tried that we were like the vodka pineapple and all
the
that
high
stuff.
noons.
Yeah, the high
the high noons. Yeah, go try yourself some Trulies and some high noons. I think you'll be pleased. But let's get back to the fact that a dude your size is concerned about what people think about what you're holding in your hand. Like, what the hell are you working out for? If that, like you're
See
an
the monster
I am
covered with
comfortable
tattoos?
Yeah, like-
drinking a seltzer. What a wuss that guy
like,
must
what
be.
the hell is this? This dude
It was
works
me
out.
sipping these little things at the pool today.
He's
These
got
little lemonade beers.
He's covered in tattoos. He's swollen as can be, and he's like, "Oh, well, God forbid someone see me with a thin can." The fuck is going on, dude? Maybe you should spend a little time focusing on your self-esteem.
Got that sweet handlebar mustache, and
God,
he's like, I need to drink out of a fucking skull or something so everybody knows I'm a badass.
if I Freaky Friday,
Well, you seen the Viking skull I brought over here that one time? That was supposed to
Yeah,
be.
but
the
I'm just
new
saying,
trophy.
if I Freaky Friday and woke up in your body, I would drink fucking daiquiris. I'd be like, "What are you gonna say, bitch?"
Appletinis.
Yeah, what are you gonna say?
Say something.
Yeah, bring it. Oh, sir, could I get a second flower in this? Because this just isn't fruity enough looking.
Give me a second umbrella.
Dude. You
My
got,
umbrella needs an umbrella.
yeah. Like, what are you doing? He's over here, I
It's
only
not
drink,
that big of a concern.
I only drink stouts.
Then all those dad bods are in the middle of the pool just drinking White Claws all day
Yeah,
long. Like,
whatever.
hey, guys, let's go. Hey, pass me another one of those White Claws.
This dude. God.
Yeah, you got a reputation to uphold. You know?
That's right.
The Rock's like, "Hey, Sealy, what are you drinking?" Yeah,
Speaking of,
The Rock?
what's up with that whiskey we were talking about earlier?
He wants to do a whiskey tasting.
I mean, need a second judgment.
He wants to wash this apple out of his
second
mouth.
judgment.
So
That's
this
right.
apple is
It's a perfect chaser.
everything is in that over there.
I'll get it. What's it called?
You're looking for the Yamazaki.
Okay.
It's the one with the Chinese characters on it.
Should have poured it
Or
from
the-
my lord.
Oh, damn it. Damn it.
Here you go.
I totally missed that opportunity,
That
man.
would have been awesome.
Slip
He's
a
already
little
had my
more.
lord.
That
That
stuff
would have
is
been
good.
funny if he hadn't had 20 shots of those.
It would have been good,
Yeah.
man. Dude, we got a lot of medical stuff to talk about over here. I noticed you sent in a couple medical things.
Yeah, I remember sending in one thing. I don't remember the second thing.
Yours is very medical centric this week. You've been spending a lot of time looking for some medical.
I got some
news.
problems. I gotta get looked at. Actually, I just go to like whatever Apple News homepage and just.
Oh, actually, every article you sent in this week was from the New York Post.
Oh, really?
Yeah, don't pour 3 of those. Nobody wants that shit right
Well, I'm
now.
the only one. I can't be solo. Oh, what the fuck's
It
going
doesn't
on?
look like there's that much in there.
Yeah, just focus on
Yeah,
you.
Yeah, it
Focus
looks
on
like
you.
enough for 3.
Focus on you. Just try. You're gonna like that whiskey, man. That's fantastic stuff.
My palate's not refined enough for that,
Yeah, this is good.
especially being that it's been out here in the 100-degree.
So this is the one you sent me in the middle of a pandemic. This is the kind of fucking medical news you're listening to. This is very interesting. This is a guy who ended up getting a disease, infection in his perineum.
Yeah.
It's the skin.
Yeah.
It's a skin infection.
But on his undercarriage.
Yeah, but so what started happening was
Taint?
Yeah, his taint.
Oh God!
for
Terrible.
lack
That
of a
doesn't get
better
air.
for lack of a better term, this
Did you
was
see the
like
photos with this
yeah.
story?
Yeah. This dude had like he was
His
falling apart.
extremities were not getting blood.
He's like a leper. I mean,
Yeah.
essentially, this dude has leprosy.
Yeah.
He is his extremities are like first they start turning purple, then as less blood goes to them, they eventually just start turning black and rotting and then falling off.
Yeah. Fingers, toes,
all of his extremities. But there's one other extremity that men have.
Dick.
And well done.
Is that the medical term?
Oh, yeah, dick.
Woo! Yeah.
Oh, we're going medical wiener.
Wiener.
It's a penis. That's fine. So, medical wiener. That's
The classes
weenie?
join up.
Oh, yeah.
a peepier. It's a long story. My parents told me that it was called a peepier.
Interesting.
Like my whole life.
That's why you had no friends.
Like because you pee-pee, out of it. And I remember, I was in elementary school, and we got to this one grade where somebody, said, my penis. And I'm like,
you idiot.
What the fuck are you talking about? And I got in an argument with him. And I told him, you sound like a fool. You're gonna make yourself look stupid. I'm trying to help you out. I don't want you to get made fun of. It's a peepier.
Yeah. Science.
What'd you say? Peepier?
Yeah. Because you pee-pee out of
Peepier.
it. It's your peepier.
Yeah.
So I was like, no, bro, that's your peepier. And he's like,
how old were you? 22?
Pretty sure. And he's like, no, I'm pretty sure it's a penis. And I'm like, no, guys. And so we ended up getting a larger conversation. Yeah, there's only one of us that called it a peepier. I ended up losing that.
We broke off in teams. There were 34 people on the one side.
Sounds medical.
It got. It was unfortunate for me. It didn't go well. But so it's not a peepier.
Okay.
It's actually
just to clear things up.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So
in certain circles, it's a peepier.
In Brendan's home, still is.
Sense.
There was 100%. It's a peepier, but it's not. So I digress. It's a penis. So this guy's penis gets affected by this fucked up disease that he has, right? And so he essentially gets leprosy of the dick. No joke. I read the article. I doubt you read the article.
I read the
you
article.
Did? Because typically you read headlines and go, Brendan will figure it out.
Yeah. No, I read this article. And I know which sentence you're getting ready to.
This thing literally just crumbled up, became hard, not in a good way.
Yeah.
And fell off.
His penis fell the fuck off.
And it's so bad.
Like wood that burnt so
But the
much.
leprosy
disintegrated.
eats you away to the point that it doesn't start bleeding and spurting blood. All the tissue is dead and it's already healed over essentially. His penis just fell off. Here's the funny thing. If there is a funny thing.
No.
His balls were perfectly intact.
Oh, God.
The dude just had a swing bag.
The worst part. If I could have a dick without balls, I'd be all right.
I'd be perfectly fine with that. Nobody ever goes, let me see your balls.
Yeah.
No woman ever was like, oh, my God. I wasn't going to date him, but when I saw his balls, I realized he was the one for me.
No one's ever like,
keeper.
No one's ever like, your dick smells, or boy, I got kicked in the dick. It really hurt.
It's all balls.
Yeah.
Balls are the worst part of the entire equation.
My dick's sticking to my leg.
No, it's just a little sperm factory hanging out because your body wasn't even built for this stuff. They had to create a whole different house.
You sit on your balls, get testicular torsion, all the bad
things. And you said there was pictures of this?
The pictures are all pixelated like a Japanese porn.
Okay.
And they I read the article.
There's no pictures of the rotted off wiener. The
it's
picture,
just a flat spot.
There's
with
pictures.
a couple
There's
a
pictures
picture.
there's pictures of the repair.
Oh, so they put a prosthetic on.
Kind of. So the beauty of what
a giant clit.
Could you imagine? You just got a big clit and some
balls.
balls.
Now I guess I'm a fucking woman. I guess you just take a hard turn.
My giant balls say I'm clearly a man. My enormous clit.
I'd be like, you know what? Can I just go ahead and get these removed?
Yeah,
I don't know
while we're
why.
here.
I just have to have a set of nuts.
It's the best of both worlds, right? You got that sensitive clit and giant balls. You're like, look at me. Come so hard. The worst.
It sounds like this guy got the shit end of the stick. That's the worst of both worlds. Your dick falls off and you get to keep your fucking balls.
Well,
pain in the
science is stepping in to save the day.
Oh, and he was a divorcee when this all happened too. So he's out there on
She's like,
He's out there on. I mean, he's not even
Seriously,
sending dick
poor
pics
guy.
on Tinder. He's sending ball shots. You know what I mean?
That's the 5th ball shot you sent me. Can you change it up a little?
Like, you remember those snakes for 4th of July you light and then they just grow the snake?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, that's what must have looked like where his dick once
Yeah.
was, is like the leavings of a snake from the 4th of July. And then just hopefully a sweet set of nuts. But even those things are working overtime with no way to expel the juice.
Yeah.
What a nightmare. Sorry, I digress. He has no peep here.
Oh.
That's the bottom line.
Medically speaking.
That's only half the story.
So he found
Continue,
he
please.
found some doctors that actually have been having a lot of luck regrowing limbs. Have you guys ever seen like the image of the ear in the back of the mouse? Have you
Yeah.
ever seen that?
Yep.
Like they were able to take ear stem cells
right.
and like they inject it in the mouse, and then the ear grows over time in the
On the
back
back
of
of the
this
mouse.
mouse, and then they're able to cut it out and sew
Yeah.
it on and create an ear. So they're able to do
Jesus.
these kind of things. Well, this guy was like, "Hey, got a project for you.
Grow his dick on his mouth.
I'm down. I'm down one peep here." But
That mouse got a dick for a tail.
But he needed to do all the
Mouse
other
tail's
stuff.
weird looking.
He needed a urethra. He needed a vas deferens. Like he needed
Yeah.
some other. He needed all the equipment. So they couldn't just mouse this situation. They had to go to him. So what they did is they found a spot
geez.
on his arm, on
On
his
forearm.
forearm.
Or you could grow a dick on your arm.
They grew a dong on.
I'll be like, can we do it on like the back of my leg?
Dude, all
Or
the
I can
pictures
fucking
are like
cover?
it's like long sleeve shirt rolled up, and it's just this appendage
A
hanging
dickhead
down.
hanging
it's
out.
All, it's all pixelated.
Can you control how big you grow this dick?
Funny you
Great
say.
question.
Oh, he's
Great
got a
question.
Guy's got a hog.
So apparently, they were growing it to like average size, which I get the impression he did not have average size because he was offended by. He was like, I'd like to actually go a little big. Like my whole life I've spent like this,
Yeah.
and then I went through this like fucked up necromancer thing, whatever the hell going on here, and I'd
Now
like to
I wanna-
add 2 inches.
They added 2
I'm
inches.
divorced.
Yeah.
You know, let's
What
make
do you-
this worth
but,
a while.
But
I'm
he
a little older.
says it's not about having sex. It's about just peeing again. And you know what? I kind of get that. Like,
Yeah.
like if you lose the ability to pee and have sex all at once, the one that comes up all the time, 10 times a day, is the old
Yeah.
pee.
You know what? That's
It's
a
a
good question.
pee peer, for fuck's sake.
It is.
So how did he pee? Was there still a hole where the?
Yeah, he had cathetered up.
Yeah.
And so they ended up
Oh my God.
they ended up doing all this stuff in his arm. They built this dong. What do you think it cost to add 2 inches to the existing dong? Because I know the number.
Well, look, we're talking about. Well, so you could look at it 2 different ways.
I'm looking at it financially.
Well, I'm looking at it as look. We're doing some breakthrough science
Yeah.
here. You're using me as this tool,
Yeah.
as this guinea pig. But shit, how to fucking put a number on that, man? I don't know. In
A better question is, what would the average
50 grand?
person pay?
I don't know.
What would the average person pay?
for a little exercise,
yeah.
or
to add
but,
2
so
inches.
here's the question though: like, can you just add 2 inches to the end of your dong if you're not this guy? Like, or do you have to grow it, chop your jank off, and then
He needs to be careful what he wishes for, because if I added 2 inches, I'd have to add 2 inches to all my shorts. It's already awkward enough.
But for real, it's like if this happens to like be this breakthrough new science to add a little action to your business, like
I'm
do
getting
you
a
have
second
to
one.
cut? Do you have to? Can you grow it on your existing dick, or do you have to grow it on your arm and then replace?
That's a whole nother.
Well, I mean, if you want to have 2 of them, have 2 of them.
Well,
My-
now you're talking about
my thing
fucking
is
the
that-
shocker.
But
You better have 4 balls because you don't want it to look weird.
that's going to cost a fortune. So whatever the number is, like just
The
tack
number-
it
actually-
on
So
to
for
Celia
this
was
guy,
pretty
what,
close.
50
Yeah.
grand, 40, 50 grand?
65.
Okay.
65 grand for 2 extra inches. So they had to go in.
But but you say 2 extra inches. But what is if he didn't want 2 extra inches? Were they doing it fucking for free?
The best part about
No,
it is
no,
he
no.
raised the money for the 2 extra inches. Like he was able to get like all of
Crowdsource
this
it?
because
He did
because
a fun GoFundMe.
I think insurance, as long as you toe the line of this is more about peeing than having sex.
Yeah.
But he did install a pump where he can pump it up so it's hard or turgid.
Because
Yeah.
so they weren't able to reconnect all the nerves and everything to.
They're
to
able
do
to
that
reconnect
naturally,
it enough so he can pee. Like the urethra will be hooked back up.
but not enough to get the blood flow as a natural reaction?
No.
I think it was a little more
Stimulus?
difficult to put all the capillaries.
They've been
in
doing
there.
that pump thing for a while for
I'm getting
dudes.
getting one in December.
Nice.
Psyched.
But does
more
he feel the
popsicle sticks?
sensation?
I'm
Does
done.
he still feel the sensation and can do work?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I mean,
They said he'll be able to use it as normal.
Like this is exciting times we live in. But this poor son of a bitch, after going through all of this has been, I can't remember if it was a 2-year or 4-year process that he's been going through this. We'll call it 4 for sake of argument.
That's right. I forgot about the end of the article. The bad news.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
It fell off.
Yeah.
It fell off.
No. He just
pulled it off.
He met this woman named Lorena Bobbitt.
And she was like,
Quite a lot of effort
Redemption.
for not. No, so he ends up going with the 2 extra inches. So now he's got this dong on his arm. And I do feel like I'm stumbling into one of Troy's internet stories that may not be real, but I'm still going with it because we're in a pandemic.
It's entertaining.
And so this guy has this arm dong, right? And he was about to get it put back on because it's fully grown. The 2 extra inches are there. Everything's ready to go. But because of the coronavirus,
See pubes on his arm?
no, because his balls and everything's intact. He's got the pubes where they belong.
I'm saying since he has a penis on his arm, he have pubes around.
well, yeah, because he's got arm hair.
Well,
I
they
imagine.
just grew a dong, no balls, no pubes. Is
So
how
look,
I look at it.
I just don't get. Did they insert something in his fucking arm? Like, how do you grow a dick on your arm?
Oh, you're asking the wrong medical expert.
So anyway, back to what happened.
Okay.
So unfortunately, the coronavirus has hit, and elective surgeries are no longer
A
an
rat.
option.
Yeah, a rat.
So he has been stalled out. He was ready to get this thing put on him and get back to life. But unfortunately, since February, March, when it was time to put it back on, he's just stuck with a full-size dong.
Dick arm. Yeah, he got a dick arm. Poor guy.
I mean, the coronavirus affects
never
us all
ends.
differently, but
Yeah.
this poor bastard,
Yeah.
he ended up getting stuck with dick arm. Or
Jesus.
pee-peer arm, if you will.
Yeah.
So-
Lucky him.
Poor fella.
So these are the stories that Troy's sending in about medical wonders in the middle of this crazy
Hey, that was a
stuff.
good story. I thought you would enjoy it.
100%.
No, look,
The
very
pictures were
interesting.
hilarious.
I have
I had
more
so
notes
many
about
questions.
that particular thing because I was like, there's a lot to unpack
Yeah.
here. Like that one actually required me to do research.
I
There was a
still
lot
have so
going
many
on.
questions.
Oh, there's a
About
lot
how
of
to grow a
questions,
dick
and
on
I
your
doubt
arm.
we're going to have a lot of answers. But as a guy who's into body modification, Sealy, this brings me to my next question.
Yeah.
Would you be
Shoot.
interested in
a dick
potentially
arm?
like a super large penis on your arm?
Well,
You could get it tatted up.
Luckily, I haven't had many complaints in the dick, area. So
How
I
about
don't
your
think I
arm?
would want
Because your
to-
arms look small. Your arms could use a few extra inches.
after a situation which I believe we probably covered in New Orleans back in 2000.
Yes.
I do have one arm smaller than the other. So maybe a prosthetic bicep. But I don't need a set of balls or a dick or an ass on my arm. So
Stop being a prude. Let's mushroom tip that bicep.
That's
Like
the
if you
question.
flex
what
the
kind of
veins
sensitivity
into-
does this thing have? I got so many questions. Can you jerk your arm off? I don't. What is it?
Oh,
Does it?
man.
I don't get it.
That would be the greatest parlor trick ever. I'd just
Right.
start stroking my arm, watch
Right.
my shirt bulge up.
I mean, I see a whole new porn industry being created from prosthetic wieners.
I feel
Nope,
like if
nope,
I had
I don't.
I feel
I
like
don't.
if I had that limp dick on Tesh's
Flopping
arm, I'd
around.
reach over somebody's glass and just drop it in
Drop
there.
it in there. Just drop the head in there.
Let me pour
Can
that
you be
for
angry? You don't pee out of it. And they'll be
me-
like, oh, fuck it. It's like his thumb was in
Yeah,
it.
don't worry. It's a virgin.
It's clean.
Oh, that's another
Your
question.
dick arm was just in my
That's
iced
another
tea.
question. Can your arm dick get hard?
No, I cannot.
Well, yeah, it is a pump.
Because he has to put the
Okay,
pump
so you
in.
got to pump your arm up.
Yeah, you
Got
gotta
it, got
pump it up.
Okay.
I don't think that
Yeah.
part's installed yet, right? That seems silly. Why would that be a part of
Why
it?
would you make your arm?
Oh,
get
we're
hard?
not there yet. Yeah, unfortunately. We're just... Look, we're pretty early in the stage. What we now have, though, is a full-size pee-peer on
need-
this
He
gentleman's
needs,
arm.
he needs one of these compression
like I need to
sleeves
see
for
it.
that thing.
Yeah, I feel like I need
It's
to
all
see a picture of
pixelated
it.
like a Japanese porn, dude.
Yeah.
It's not. It's Hey, speaking of,
So
how's that
that-
Japanese whiskey?
So, that's pretty smooth.
Yeah, it's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah. It's a
I'm a
tasty
fan.
treat.
Yeah, well, so that leads me to believe is Is
And
it legit?
Personally,
if they're pixelating pictures of the dick
I think the whole thing's a lie, only because of this. Based on my understanding of when you create these tissues and you do these things under the skin, they stay under the skin. They pixelated it every time where it was like the shape of balls and a penis like hanging off the
But
arm.
no balls.
And I was like, yeah, but there's no ball.
Yeah, but
so
where are the balls
that's
at?
when my spidey sense went off. I was like, you shady
It was a
SOBs.
legit news source, wasn't it?
It was New York Times, which throws me for a loop. I don't know where I stand
You
on
think
this.
that's trustworthy?
I don't
Well,
know.
who's trustworthy anymore?
Good fucking question. That's the question.
I don't.
Who knows,
I really don't know what to believe. What I do find
Everybody's got an
hilarious.
agenda. Is the
I
problem?
do find hilarious that the amount of people that I know.
Big penis is pushing this story.
big penis.
New York Times like, look, we need something past
Sorry,
COVID
Troy, I
or
had to go with
politics.
it. It was a good joke.
Late '90s rapper, big penis.
Big penis. He was the best, man. He was the hype guy for
R.I.P.
Biggie before
R.I.P. Big
Buffy.
penis. No, I was gonna say I do. It is funny to me the amount of people that I'm friends with on Facebook that do speak in these terms that like they know so much 100% fact, and I'm like, you really don't know nearly as much as you think you know.
It's amazing. I love watching these so-called experts post things that then like 2 days later are completely debunked, and like it
Yep.
gets pulled down. And my new favorite is where Facebook's actually saying, actually, this is bullshit. And like, here's some other sources you should check out. That's like forcing onto these. It's finally starting to bring some of these people back down to earth, but they're all like censorship. Like, facts are sometimes.
I mean, it's a little embarrassing. I used to be that person. First time I saw a headline, I was like, "Oh God, get the fuck out of here!" And just know to keep your fucking mouth shut. 'Cause normally, I'd take it back to the wife, and she'd be like, "You fucking idiot."
Yeah,
But that's good. You have someone you can
I
bounce
got
these things off of. You go to the wife and go,
Got the concrete block there. That is like, no.
"Hey, baby,
Pull it back
is
to
it
earth,
true
buddy.
murder hornets are eating dingoes that are eating babies that have caused?" You know?
Babe, is it true you can get an arm dick that comes?
Yeah, take this one home to your wife. I would like to see what her
asking
take
for a
is.
friend.
Asking for my arm.
No,
Dude, I thought this weekend I was going to end up at the doctor's office. I had it wasn't me personally, but like,
should I be here? Should I be here this close to you without wearing a mask right now?
you're good. At least on that front.
Right.
No, I went biking with my daughter, and we decided to like ride down. We went up to a park not far from here. One of my buddies in the neighborhood was like, "Hey, I'm going to go ride. My daughter's going to come, and like, you know, would your girls like to go?" And I asked my girls, and they said, "Fuck no." And I was like,
All right, coming in.
and I was like, all right, well, you have two options. I was like, you can either go to a winery with mom and watch her drink in the sun,
Yeah.
or you can ride bikes with your friend. And they were like, fine, we'll go.
We'll be active.
Yeah.
We'll go ride bikes, you know. So we go out to this park, and it has like these trails, and we're going down. And my daughters, I'm trying to get them better at riding bikes, but they're not great at it. And so we go down the first hill. And I'm like, okay, that's like, these are hills, and like you have to be able to turn and like navigate.
And brake.
So I pulled off at the first spot, and I was like, hey, don't keep up with anybody. You ride your own ride. Which
Yeah.
we've had this conversation before. I said, you ride your own ride. You ride at the speed you feel comfortable. If that speed happens to be very slow, then very slow is how you go.
Get
and
off and walk by your
yeah,
bike.
and I'll meet you at the bottom of the hill. But don't overdo it. Don't keep up. Ride your brakes. They were like, cool. So my one daughter must have taken that advice as, let's see how fast we can go down this hill.
Fuck that.
So she's going down the hill, and I hear the scream, you know, like, I look back, and she's still going perfectly fine. She'd already decided in her mind it was over.
It was over, yeah.
Which is the first problem, because now the panic has set in, right? So now she's looking in the woods and not at the turn, which you need to do the turn. That's
Yeah.
So then she lights up her brakes, goes off, and I'm like, ooh.
Oh, so she had like
Miles not gonna be happy
she had
about
hand
this.
brakes,
And back brakes.
but I mean she had caliper brakes. Like she didn't have coaster brakes.
So she has both. She has coaster brake and
Oh wow!
hand brake. So, but she locked them up, slid, wrecked, ended up busting her face up.
Oh,
Dude,
damn.
We're 2 minutes into this journey. It took me 20 times as long to get the bikes loaded in the truck,
Yeah.
get down there,
No, no.
Get the kids ready.
wrecked immediately, right?
So that was a wrap.
So she's down. Yeah, we're at the bottom of the first real hill.
Yeah.
And she's down, and her face is bleeding. There's blood in her mouth, her hands, her
Oh,
knees.
God.
I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, this is going to be worse than I.
great day.
And she's screaming, you know, and
Yeah.
her sister's trying to help, and by help I mean panicking,
screaming
Yeah.
shit out,
panicking.
too. Oh, God.
And I'm
Running
like,
in circles,
and I'm
screaming.
like, you need to stop panicking so I can focus on
Oh, no.
this one because you're actually fine.
She's making it so much worse because she's
So
like,
much
why
worse.
is she screaming looking at my face?
Oh,
Yeah.
and she
I'm
didn't
so
know
used
that
to
her face looked like hamburger. You know, so I'm just like, could we stop screaming right now? Like, let her be.
But there's no reasoning at that point.
No, no, so literally,
zero
like,
reasoning.
Nope.
The fact is, I got her to stand up. Everything was functioning. Yes, she had it looks like a soul patch.
Yeah.
Right on her face, which is the weirdest spot to hit. Like, I
Right.
understand chin or teeth. She got the indention in between the two. How, I'll never know.
It was road rash.
Yeah. Oh, and it's road rash. So, like, I
Yeah.
cleaned it up. Like, I was pouring water on it. Like, there's no cuts, so no stitches. I'm like, we're good. We're good here.
Yeah.
Like, if there's no stitches, we can walk these bikes out of here, and we'll go address it with ice cream and
Right.
Neosporin.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%.
So we walk back up the hill, get her out of there. But it was like, I felt bad for my neighbor because he was all fired up. He wanted to go do this, you know what I mean? And like,
Did you guys ride together?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah. So like, he didn't even
that's
get to
hilarious.
finish his ride with his daughter. You know, I was like, "Ugh, sorry about that.
The last time he goes with
Oh, he had to leave too?
Yeah, because he drove us.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, which I told him, I was like, let me take my truck, and he was like, no, we can all fit in my truck. So
You
That's
never know
on
what's
him.
going to happen. Yeah, no
a mistake. I was like, you don't know what you're doing. Let me have the ability to get out of
I
here.
almost don't like riding anywhere with any other people
Because you're
because
locked
of
in
that.
at that
yeah,
point.
Yeah.
You just never know. With kids,
Yeah.
you never know what's going to happen, man. I mean,
Yeah, I want to
you're
be
stuck.
prepared to deal with my situation.
Yeah. And
So,
if like your kid just vomits out of the blue, like I want to be able to or my kid does,
I'll
you
roll
can
out.
still
Yeah.
go do your thing.
so we end up coming up to the top of the hill, right? And there's this.
Did it again.
There's this. We get out. I tell her sister, like, go walk ahead of us. Let me walk her out. We get to the top, and there's this old Italian lady, and for all intents and purposes, for a 58-year-old, because I know far too much about this woman, for a 58-year-old, Italian grandma, she's built like she's in great shape. She looks great, and she's up there like chatting up my buddy, and I'm coming up with this bleeding girl, and she's like, "I've got a first aid kit. I can help you out." And I was like, "This is perfect. Actually, I would love to get like some wipes, some
Yeah.
alcohol wipes. Let's clean this up. Maybe a little Neosporin on there." So she's digging through her stuff, opens up the first aid kit, gives me the wipes. I'm like, perfect. Open them up. Bone dry. This thing's been in her
it's
trunk
100 years old.
for 20 years. And I'm like, damn it. So I'm pouring water on that, and I'm just cleaning her up. So I've got 2 crying girls. One of them's bleeding everywhere. And this girl decides this is the opportunity to start seeing if maybe one of us might be single and
Oh,
be
wow.
able to, like,
solid.
so, like, she starts.
The grandma?
Yeah, the grandma.
What are you guys doing after this?
Dude.
Y'all want to
she-
grab a drink or something?
Yeah. She's like,
Just 2 gay dads out with their kids?
I think I could turn them, And so,
I haven't checked that box yet.
like, she just starts going on, and like, my daughter's sitting there, tears in her eyes, blood on her face, and this lady's like, "Yeah, I was married for 30 years, but not married anymore. It's been about 5 years, and I've realized I'm a damn good wife, and I just want to get back to being a wife." She's like, "I can cook, I can clean," and she's like, "Look, Italian grandmas, you never had cooking like I can do." And then she's
Wow.
going
Hard
in about
selling you.
she's going in about how good her gravy is, and I'm like, I do.
What gravy are we talking about here?
Yeah.
Well, that's how you know she's Italian, because they don't call it red sauce; it's
Oh,
gravy.
yeah.
So I'm like, all right, I get it. Like, you're built very well for a 58-year-old woman. Like, I get it with your painted on eyebrows and your
He's like, wait a second. I've been looking for a retirement plan.
obviously you built those tits on your arm somewhere in your 30s and then had them put in. Like, I get it. But she's like, now she's hitting us up. Like, you guys have any friends maybe in their 50s, maybe even
Lord.
60s, but I doubt they can keep up with this old grandma, so maybe you want like 40s, 50s. She's like selling us
Wow.
on
Interesting
every
encounter.
And
Absolutely.
and then so like I'm like, my daughter has this look on her face like
Can we go home?
just
Daddy,
want to
she's
go
scaring
home.
me.
Why is this old lady trying to bang everybody? Like, it
so
was
weird.
it was so
It is.
awkward. And then
So you slept with her?
so I figure the fastest way out of this conversation
lady
is for me just to take one for the
Seal
team.
the deal.
100%.
Yeah,
Lay
like,
the D and get
honey,
on your way.
honey, you're gonna have to wait. My magic pee peers
3
in
more
question.
minutes. 3 more
I
minutes.
left something at the bottom of the hill. This grandma's going to go help me back.
I'm going to remind her that just because I'm younger doesn't mean it's good. And she needs to raise her standards. So then she's like, all I'm looking for is a God-fearing man who appreciates a good woman. And she's like, and that's really hard to find right now. And then she's like, I'll tell you what, you guys look like you have some great friends. Because she's realizing we're not just going
Did you get like a business card here? What, like,
we realize we're not going. I think it occurs to me we're not going to
Is she a
abandon
working girl that's stationed out in the park?
in the
or something?
park.
yeah.
So we're not going to abandon the bleeding child.
Yeah.
We're going to go address this. So now she's like, damn it. These guys, I can't win with this one. She was just hoping one of us would just walk off.
Caring ass fathers.
Apparently so.
Those sons of bitches.
Bunch of prudes.
Yeah.
If I could just find a man with a penis on his arm.
So did you get her number?
Literally, yes.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
All right.
She goes in her car. She comes back out with a piece of paper and a pen, and she writes down her number, and she's like, I would love it if you could hook me up with any of your friends who are God-fearing men who would appreciate a good meal and the love of a good woman kind of thing. I'm like, what is happening?
I feel like this will require a profile picture and, like, maybe a bathing suit shot.
Yeah.
Oh, she was laughing about how all the men she
It's got to be on
meets.
Facebook, right?
Oh, I can assure you that she in a bikini is actually gorgeous.
Pretty amazing.
Like for 58, she looked fantastic. Her face had seen like age,
Yeah.
but her body hadn't aged. Like
She's like, look,
She'd had some work
someone's
done.
going to take this ticket.
yeah.
Someone's taking his number.
So she wrote down the number, handed it to my buddy, and she was like, I want you to call me. Have any of your friends call me.
This
And
lady-
then she starts writing it down
know
for
what?
me,
I
and I'm
admire
like,
that a little bit.
I can get it from him. I'm good. Like,
Yeah.
I can get this number. We're good here. But she took the time to say, I've got a first aid kit, and then once
Here's
the
the deal.
situation
Yeah.
calmed down, she
got her
was
foot
like,
in the door.
she was like, let's
I'm looking for a mate. You
Yeah.
know, this is her dating, not online. This is her.
yeah, because she said every time she meets a guy online,
face-to-face dating.
they show up 50 pounds heavier and
Oh, for
10
sure.
10 years older than their picture.
catfishing.
She's like, I can't deal with these lies. She's like, that's not how you start a relationship. Dude, I know everything about her. And take one guess what her name is.
She's Italian.
It's the most popular name right now for all the wrong reasons for a woman.
Oh, Karen.
Her name was Karen. It was Karen, the Italian grandmother.
Like, hey, you might want to change your name here.
Yeah, I was like, oh,
This
that's
lady
not gonna
lives
help.
by the motto, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Yeah, and
Look,
she
you
was
know what?
taking
You
the
gotta-
shot.
You gotta appreciate.
I
that.
kind of respect her.
No,
but
100%.
I'm like,
She's like,
really,
look, I'm at my wit's end at this point. You guys look like some all right dudes.
It's not
she
safe in
placed
today's
herself-
world.
No,
Well, she
she's headed
placed
out into the
herself-
woods.
Yeah.
Yeah, but look, she placed herself in an area where she's obviously likes doing outdoor shit, right? She found herself a couple
Oh, she
outdoor
was in-
dudes,
yeah.
a couple respectable guys got their kids out here doing
Took a
some
shot.
outdoor activities,
Took a shot.
and not necessarily she was taking a shot at you guys. Like, hey, are you guys available? Okay, not. Give me some of your friends. You probably run with a good crowd.
Yeah, she knows we
She
fuck. We
couldn't
got
be
kids.
more
Man,
wrong.
look.
She couldn't be more wrong.
Yeah, very true. Like, little did she know.
You blew
But
it.
at the same time, look, that's her. This is her virtual
Way to
slash
go, Karen.
dating.
But I did respect that she took a shot. But I was like, there's a
100%,
time and a
man. No
place,
doubt.
and I really need to get this
Not
girl
whilst
home.
your daughter's bleeding out of her
Yeah,
face.
when my daughter got
Yeah.
home and looked in the mirror, it was like square one,
All over.
the way back. Oh, you know.
You really
Yeah.
shouldn't. You really shouldn't like take your shot when, like you said, the kid is
in a
bleeding.
tragedy, in
yeah,
a tragic situation,
yeah, like
probably not the best. Time.
yeah. I know you have blood all over you and two
Things you gotta
screaming
focus on.
kids. Like,
But you know what? I gave you the first aid kit. So
Yeah, and
pay
then-
me mine.
won't it be a funny story down the road when we get to
If we end
tell?
up landing this deal right now, maybe.
Yeah, there's
I don't
17 years difference between the two of us, but hey, we can tell our kids. You know, my kids are. You know, my
She
great
doesn't know that.
grandkids.
Kennedy's rocking a lot of whites these days, a lot of white hair
That's
in the
right.
beard these days. So he could have been pushing the 50s.
Yeah, I mean, I tell people I'm, my age, and they always think I'm way older. So I guess
Is
it's
it the
true.
white hair and the beard?
I guess, or just I look old anyway. I don't know, but when I tell people I'm in my early 40s, they're like, "Wait, what? I thought we were the same age." I'm like, "How old are you?" 48. I'm like, "No,
No. It's
not even close."
Yeah, I feel like I'm still like in my early 30s.
I feel like I'm in my
starting
50s.
to look.
Oh,
like
I feel like
like
I'm
I
in my
am.
mid 40s, but my head thinks I'm still 25. I
Oh,
still
100%.
like act and joke and do the same things I did with my buddies.
But I don't think
Obviously
that'll
all of
change.
us hang out
Shouldn't
together,
change.
so we know how we all act. We're all basically fraternity guys
Bunch
still
of
through and
jackasses.
through, yeah.
Well, that's what she was looking for. Karen was taking her shot. He's like, you guys look like some aged frat guys. Don't mind if I do. It was just weird. It was just
Wrong,
weird.
bad
weird
timing. Let's put it. Let's just.
And I
put it
realized,
bad
did
timing.
you know that you're not supposed to put rubbing alcohol on, like, apparently there's
Open
nicer
wounds?
ways to do it. I'm old school,
Yeah.
dude. I'm like,
Clean that shit out. It's gonna fucking hurt like a bitch. Clean it out. Get
That's
the
how
rubbing
I am.
alcohol in there.
Yeah.
Like, we got home, dude. My daughter's freaking out, and I
Who
was
told
like,
you you're not supposed to do that?
Yeah.
my wife was just like, there's a lot of different ways. She's like, hydrogen peroxide, same concept,
Yeah.
little less burn. She's like, and then we got like Bactine, we got all these things. I
Yeah.
was like, that's not how I operate.
Yeah.
If I hurt myself, the first thing I
Clean
do,
the bitch out.
cotton
Yep.
ball, I work that wound with
Uh.
rubbing alcohol, and then Neosporin. Like,
Yeah.
that's just how I roll. And so
Everclear.
I get
Everclear.
home,
Yeah.
and
Right
like,
on it.
I've got my daughter, and she's screaming bloody murder, and I'm like, all right, so if you're just screaming like this,
Wait till the rubbing alcohol
then
comes
I'm
out.
just gonna do it.
Uh.
And I mean, I just like whap, and she's screaming. The dog is outside the door, like, I'm gonna kill you, dude.
Yeah.
You touched my favorite
What are you
person in this
doing?
house. But like, as soon as it's done, you're 30 seconds later, you're
Yeah.
like, okay, I feel fine, and at least you know it's clean. Like, I
Yeah.
wanted gravel out. I wanted
That's the
whatever
main
was
thing.
there.
Yeah.
You
Like,
gotta get that cleaned out.
I don't know another way. Apparently, there's more gentle solutions to this, but
Alcohol's the way.
No, we
That's
went
why
the
it's
same-
tri-
I'm
it's
glad
tried
to
and
hear.
true.
I'm
It's-
glad to hear that because I was made
it's
to
the
feel
Band-Aid
like
mentality, man. You just gotta fucking do it. It's gonna suck. This is gonna
That's
suck.
what I told her.
Let's
I
go
said,
into
this is going to suck.
knowing that it's gonna be a problem, but it's gonna make it all better.
But I'm going to
But
keep you
long-term-
from, because I was like, I promise you, an infection is a far worse
Yeah.
pain and
Especially-
situation.
Especially in the middle of your face.
Yeah, you don't want
Yeah.
clean it out.
Yeah.
Let's get some Neosporin on it. We'll be good.
It'll
so
heal
I'm
up
glad to hear you
nicely.
guys say
Yeah.
that because my wife was like, "Oh, I can't believe you did that," and I was like, "Took care of our daughter."
Yeah.
Like that's
We had
In
a
her
very-
defense, I can't believe you did that either.
In New Hampshire, we had a very similar situation. You know, we went on all these rivers where there's like just random rocks, giant rocks
Yeah.
in the middle of the river.
Yep, I know what
So
you're talking
Harper didn't have her goggles on, was talking to Carrier 1 second, next second later turns around, dove blindly
Oh.
face first into a giant rock.
Oh,
my god. Like
God.
I was over there jumping on a cliff, all I heard was just like murder screams. Look over, she's holding her face, same thing. She's got like
Did she
almost
chip
like a
her teeth
Hitler
or anything?
No, it's like and again, oddly enough, like almost a Hitler type mustache,
Oh,
and
wow.
just a scrape, where
Yeah.
just right
That's
on the.
not the one you want.
But how did she not take out a tooth or anything? I don't know, because that scrape like took some skin out, right?
Oh.
So she's still to this day, 2 weeks later, has like some healing situation going on
Wow.
there. But I'm the same way. I'm like, put some alcohol on that bitch.
Yeah.
yeah,
and,
let's clean this
yeah.
thing. Let's get.
Luckily,
to
we were
work.
in the middle of water, so there wasn't a whole lot of gravel or any kind of.
You should have
shit in
really
it, but,
doubled down
dude,
with your wife. Been like, do you know the pussy I left behind to take care of our daughter?
Exactly.
You should really be thanking me.
I had this conversation with my wife. I always like her to know that I'm desirable. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I'm like, so this chick's on my CD case. It's pretty dope. All right, so while we're doing medical talk, because you all you did was send me medical stuff.
I don't even know what else I sent you.
You sent me a very interesting one, and what I liked about it was that social media ended up interacting with this story and actually had a positive outcome. And I don't see that enough.
Yeah.
So I was happy about this one. You would send something in, #medbikini.
Med
this-
bikini?
You didn't read this article.
no.
I forget a lot of things. You
We
should know
relied
that.
on you to do that.
So apparently some journal was written in like one of the medical journals. And there was a line in there talking about how doctors need to not
That's right. I
put
remember
their
this
life
article.
out there
Yeah.
on social media because they have to maintain a professional
That's right, I
attitude at all
remember this.
time. And the two things they called out specifically was somebody with beer in the photo or alcohol of any kind
Yeah.
and in bathing suits. They
You're
don't-
fucking ridiculous.
It was hot. It was hot women, right? Like,
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, they didn't want.
Yeah.
They don't think that there should be bathing suits on social media because you're ruining your credibility as a doctor. And there was a revolt, and it was #medbikini, where these surgeons and doctors and
We're in their bikinis and their
women
bathing
were
suits and shit.
upset because
Yeah.
this had come out.
Well,
and
like-
it
I'm a
was-
normal person.
Yeah,
like-
because I'm awesome at what I do. I'm a surgeon.
well, and these
whatnot.
pictures like weren't like they were vacation
Like racy?
pictures.
Yeah, sure.
It's
Literally
not
on a boat
yeah.
with your kids.
They're not like they're
Literally.
Fredericks of Hollywood models
They're
on
not
the spare
selfieing
time.
in a mirror.
Yeah, it wasn't any of this crazy
No.
stuff, but they're bagging them, and I liked that
That's
on social
ridiculous.
media these doctors actually saw this and said, "Hold on, this is
Piss
a slippery slope.
Yeah.
You're starting to say that I can't do these things. Keep in mind, I am a human. I have life outside of this." And that time away from the stress, in particular in
Is a
this day and
necessity,
age,
dude.
Yeah.
I need to have stress
Absolutely.
relief. And if that involves me going to the beach with my family, I don't think that's a crime.
No, not at all.
So hashtag MedBikini started trending. So I started following it after you sent the article.
Nice.
And there's some smoking hot surgeons out there.
I know. That's the
Like-
talk about a full package right there.
Like, I was pretty excited when I started going through this. But what I found really...
Insert what's his name joke right here.
What, dick arm?
So, yeah, my peep ear is like, look at it again. But what I found great about it is they started doing MedBikini and putting out their stuff, and they started like putting out good-looking shots, different things, all of them varying levels of craziness. Some people with a beer in a bikini, like,
Yeah.
I'm still a human. They won the entire
Internet?
article in the medical journal, got pulled out. Like, they acquiesced to it, not because of like dollars and people
Because
leaving.
it doesn't fucking make sense.
Yeah, it was good. So it was like, Troy, you sent one
Finally,
in that-
common sense breaks through.
Right.
but it was a good one. Like, they trended with boobs, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
And then they won. They won the argument with their boobs. And I thought, good. Actually, I shouldn't say with just boobs because some of the guys got in and started doing some interesting stuff if you check out
Mankinis.
the trend.
Nice try, Karen. Try to ruin something else.
But it
I
worked.
mean, you
They
can't-
actually pulled the entire study because of that little part.
I mean, you could say the same thing about teachers, about police officers, about
Yeah.
anybody in the
Slippery
military.
damn
It's bullshit,
slope,
man.
man.
It's
Slippery
crazy.
damn slope.
Like, you can't be a real person. You can't live a.
I'm allowed to be a real person.
Standard
Yeah.
of life.
And that's what they were saying. So
No, yeah, of course. Look, if
respect
you're a teacher,
hashtag MedBikini.
Yeah, if you're a teacher and you're taking half nudies and you're like an elementary school teacher, that's a different world. If you're sitting on a boat with your kids and you just happen to be in a bathing suit, I mean,
Well, and there's
Two different worlds.
There's always like there's
The
different
edge, the
levels.
edge, for
There's
sure.
always, but this was a blanket statement
huh.
that
Oh,
they
that's
should
crazy.
not have photos of them out there in the real world.
No way.
It's kind of where it was trending. So Troy, it wasn't the most interesting article you sent in, but I did like to see a social media victory.
Yes.
Like they built a hashtag, and it had nothing to do with all kinds of divisiveness. Like,
Well,
this
my
is just
point
like-
of this, my point of sending that article in was, I want to know who the person that took the time to complain is. Like, because that's the problem.
the
with
three
this world
guys that
today.
wrote the article, so they had all this other stuff. They created fake social media accounts and started only following doctors, and then started like to call them out and shame them, and then that's what
Wow.
created. And it was like literally like a throwaway part of this article, but they took the time to create fake
It's somebody
social media
looking for
accounts.
some-
Like,
looking-
these dudes are
looking to be
dicks.
relevant,
Yeah,
looking for
those-
some publicity.
They should be beaten.
Well, they were beaten by hashtag MedBikini.
Yeah.
Respect.
That's just. I mean, that's
It's
what's
silly,
wrong with
man.
this
It's
world,
silly.
man. That's the type of stuff that just irritates the shit out of me.
There's
a
so much
lot- there's a-
wrong with this world, dude. This is a crazy time.
Yeah.
There's a need for social media. I think there's
Nah,
a lot of
I hate
positive
it.
things that come out of it. But think about if we grew up with social media. I'm sure we've
Oh,
had this talk before. Scary
Yeah,
thought.
Very scary.
I'm glad I didn't grow up with it.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
a level of stress that I don't know that I could have coped with as a child.
Yeah.
Well, not just that.
And I worry
Think
about my kids.
How that forms you moving forward, right?
Yeah.
Our kids are all
Yeah.
aspiring to be fucking YouTubers. That shit drives me
Yep.
fucking crazy.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like,
my youngest daughter is a YouTube star.
Except for she didn't have a camera.
No, well, she noticed the
better set that
camera I
up.
have in here, and I was like, "Well, yeah, actually, you could use that. So like, we can record podcasts."
What
She's
the
like,
fuck is that for? You watching me right now?
"I'm not
Recording
watching
me? You recording me right now?
Yeah,
I'm not watching you if that's what you're asking.
don't worry.
I
tell you
don't
what,
worry about that.
That camera's new. I don't remember that camera.
No, I don't.
Technically speaking, since the last time everyone was here, there's a camera directly outside this door.
There's cameras
a camera
everywhere.
in here. Like,
All right, I need to keep my eyes
the
open.
pandemic has changed things a little bit for me. I'm like, you know what I'm
A
into?
little paranoid out here.
Gun ownership
Watching
and
people.
cameras. Like, you know what I had before the pandemic? No guns and cameras.
Yeah.
Yeah, I won't lie. But that's fine because I'm totally benevolent. I'm like a good person.
Oh,
I wouldn't do any wrong with it.
Nothing ever goes on in here that no one wants recorded.
The good news is that camera's not actually hooked up. There's a cable that comes down. I have to hook it into a computer.
That's what I would say.
No, the camera outside this door is
that
100% hooked up to the internet,
suspect.
tapping into the Google servers. Don't do anything out there.
Okay.
In here, you're fine.
That's where I like to do everything.
Well, stop.
As long as you don't have one in the urinal, we're good.
Hold on. I pee out there.
Awkward.
I pee out front sometimes.
I definitely have one at the urinal. Nice arm dong.
I'll pee out of my arm, though. You see that anyway.
Oh, that kills me. Well, look, man, I'm glad you were able to make it out today. This is twice in 1 week that I've seen you. I literally haven't seen you since February.
I know. Yeah. Was that the last time there was a football game?
Yeah, probably Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Which do
I'm
we
looking
think
forward to that. I don't know. I'm just keeping my fingers crossed.
the way baseball's falling apart? If the NBA doesn't pull it off, we are going to have a problem with football.
So they've been doing well, so let's keep our fingers crossed that stays in that direction. Baseball has been shit in the bed.
Yep.
Yeah, and we'll see. I'm honestly, I'm 50-50 that we'll have football this year.
I mean,
I don't think it's going to happen.
apparently there's this sports utopia out in Orlando where they have multiple fields where they can just house the entire league, and hopefully we can come to that kind of solution.
Let's hope.
Yeah.
It's all about the bubble. You know what we missed last week? Thank you, honey. That was really nice. Did we just get guacamole and chips out here?
Buffalo.
Buffalo chicken dip.
Yeah.
Things are looking up.
Don't mind if I do.
You know what we missed last week? And this, I was editing the podcast. Stu questioned what the dome looked like. And we didn't clown him because we were like talking
he
about
thought
other
it was
things.
Truman Show.
He thinks it truly is a dome over the NBA. And like they're like locked in there.
Like the Simpsons movie?
He
Yeah.
yeah. He
Just
thinks
drop
it's
one
like
right
he thinks it's like a snow globe.
It's got its own atmosphere
Yeah.
in there. It's like controlled.
But we missed it. We should have been killing him on that. We should have crushed him.
We should have. We dropped the ball. There's always more time with Stu.
That's delicious.
He'll be
Let me
back.
Try this.
He'll be back. No, so Celie, thank you for coming out, man.
Thanks
I
for
appreciate it
having me.
making a Sunday show happen.
Anytime.
Those are always a good time.
That's some good dip.
Yep. I love a Sunday show. Frees up
Yeah.
my Monday too, which makes for a far better week.
Yeah, happy 40th to my wife. That's why we're taking Monday off and taking her out to dinner tomorrow night.
Nice, dude. Congratulations to the wife.
Very nice.
That's
Or we
great.
might not go anywhere because I was like, "Where do you want to go?" She's like, "Well, I don't want to eat inside anywhere." I'm like,
I totally agree.
"So we might go to Roost Chris," but the
I've
weather
been
could
doing
be bad.
Casa del Barco on the rooftop.
That's not a bad idea.
I like it up there. I feel comfortable. I'm really weird about that stuff.
Yeah. It's funny, man. Like, I fucking had my 40th through the fucking pandemic. And obviously, you know, growing up with kids all my same age, like, there's so many 40ths that happen during this time where we can't do shit to celebrate. There's got to be, we got to create some sort of fucking blowout situation when
How
this thing
old
turns
are you?
around.
You're 40? That's gross. That's gross.
I mean, I know you did that like 7 years ago, but
I've been holding. I mean, I just turned 30, and I thought that was weird. That
But-
timeline should live up to by the lies I've been telling.
I need this.
On the
I need
podcast.
my blowout 40th when this shit turns around.
We
I
can
can't
arrange
not
for it.
celebrate. Well, what did you do for your 40th? Anything special?
I don't know what I'm going to do.
I
for
had a
my
party.
40th in the future.
I had a party for free. Half of my friends were there. Everybody
party.
got dressed up. It was Thomas's wedding.
I can tell you the best thing I ever
Nice.
did was my 30th. I went away for my 30th, and I didn't tell anybody. I just took my wife. I went up to D.C., partied, did my own thing. Then I came back, and I threw a massive blowout for my 31st.
Right.
And everybody then just subtracted a year off my
Okay.
age because everyone assumed it was
I
my
might just have to
30th.
do that on my 41st.
I just never corrected them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what you do
That
is
is pretty smart.
you just let it be, and then on your 41st you throw
Make it your
a
40th.
rager, and then everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, you're 40," and you just don't correct them. You don't say it. You just say, "Oh, it's the big birthday,"
It's the big one.
and I shaved a year off my life to everybody I know.
Yeah, because who would throw a big 31st
No one does it. I did it. I threw a rager on my
I still haven't
33rd.
had my housewarming party. I've been there for 8 years now, so combo.
Yeah, so you're way behind.
You're
Little bit.
you're hilarious to me because you like birthdays, but you hate telling people your age. It's just so funny to me.
I like a party. You know what I mean?
Explanation.
Like, I like a party.
Adults don't
regardless.
need a reason to party.
I do.
You do?
Yeah, I never liked to party.
Hold on.
It's a special thing. You know?
Mine's
Okay.
getting less and less. I don't do shit anymore. I'm kind of a loser.
After meeting Karen, though, I'm going to celebrate my 58th. Like,
That's
a
right.
mug. That's
Still
gonna be
got
fan-
that number.
That's going to be fantastic. Yeah, got that number. She likes to throw a party. Nah, so look, hey, seriously, though, thank you so much for coming out.
Thank you,
I appreciate
Steely.
the
My
help,
pleasure,
man. That was
man.
awesome.
Anytime.
Troy, it's always good to have you here, man. Happy
Always.
birthday to your wife. If you guys haven't had a chance to give us a 5-star review, you can always do so. Reach out to wherever you're getting podcasts and do the review.
Hashtag hilarious.
Be more funny.
Be more funny. And if you haven't had a chance to Cincinnati swap somebody, I know it's a little weird now, so we're going to have to do a moderated Cincinnati swap. Just hit someone up and say, hey, check out Inside the Pallet House. We could always appreciate the new listens, the new subscribers. It's a good thing. Helps us. And obviously helps you guys have something in common. Because Lord knows you guys don't have enough in common these days because you're stuck at home. Well, this is something you can do. Take a page out of Seeley's book. All he does is lift weights and listen to this show.
True that. Bush Light Apple for life.
And if you haven't had a chance to head over to our Facebook page, please do so. Check us out, like us. And you can always find us on Instagram and Twitter at ITPH Podcast. If you got too much money, there's a Venmo account.
That's right.
It's at Inside the Pallet House. You can always send us money, and we'll take it, and we'll do the Lord's work with it.
Buy more beer.
We'll do good things. If you head over to Nectar Sunglasses and drop ITPH in the coupon code, you get 30% off, which is more than 25% off.
And it's already very affordable, so
It's a damn good deal.
damn good deal.
And if you do need insurance, reach out to Ryan Parker over at Town Insurance, 804-855-4567. He can help you with everything except life insurance, or except medical insurance.
Yes.
But he can do it all. And if you need a mortgage, hit up Screen Door Mortgage. They'll take care of you.
Yep.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll be talking to you next week. Cheers.
Cheers. That was a pretty good podcast, don't you think?